We become aware because the filters are cleansed through spiritual practice daily. Your ego may be saying every single day, do I have to do this every single day? I would say, do you take a shower every day? Do you wash your hands 6 times a day? Do you? You probably would say yes if you have a social contract that you're keeping. And if so, then in the same way that you take an external shower or bath, you are to daily take an internal shower or bath so that there's a daily renewal of the mind, so the mind does not get caught in the trends of the downward spiraling of panic, fear, doubt, and worry that sweeps through the human condition every other year. You are here to be so anchored, anchored in truth. Thus, the topic of the day is conviction now more than ever. Conviction. We're talking about a deep and an abiding conviction in the truth that sets us free. The deep and abiding conviction in the awareness of our oneness with the presence of God, which is the primary principle that we teach: unity with God, oneness with God, our inseparability from the great power, the great presence, and the great love of God, and the context of which we are living. The context of which we are living is that we live, move, and have our beingness in God. Now, of course, if you're tuning in and you're new to the teaching, we are aware that we're not speaking of an anthropomorphic God-man in the sky. We're speaking of a presence that is never an absence, a presence of love and beauty and intelligence and life itself. So when we talk about the fact that it is in God that we live, move, and have our being, it is in this presence that we're living, moving, and having our beingness. Why is that important? Because your context determines your perception determines your thoughts determine your experience. In God, we live, move, and have our being. Now, there has to be conviction around this, meaning it can't be just an abstract thought or a belief. Your spiritual practice builds conviction, so you become imbued with a presence that is never an absence. Your perceptual windows are cleansed and cleared. You obtain inspired thoughts of the infinite, and your experience reveals that particular thought form. Are you getting what I'm saying? I can hear you. Oh, I forgot. There are people in the room here. Now, and so we're talking about a deep level of conviction, of a daily renewing practice so that we're transformed on a regular basis. So when we pull from the teachings of Jesus the Christ, I'm not speaking of Christianity. I'm not talking about the stuff around Jesus that was created a couple of years after him. I'm talking about the straight, no-chaser teachings that are right to the point. He had no throwaway sentences. They were principles that if you practice them, and they're found in every sacred path, Gautama the Buddha, Patanjali, they're found, the teachings are found everywhere, but if we become convicted in them, it will change our life. So when he said in substance, I send you forth as sheep among wolves, be as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. He didn't say, go arm yourself against the wolves. He didn't say, go take the wolves down. He said, I send you forth as sheep among wolves, be as wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, meaning as you go out into the world, you're going to be surrounded. There's all kinds of stuff going down on the planet. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. There's all kinds of wolf-like stuff that's going on. Be as wise as a serpent. In other words, have the wisdom and guidance to flow through you so you do what is necessary to be safe, to protect yourself, to walk through the world. But be harmless as a dove, which is a state of consciousness. To be harmless as a dove is a state of consciousness where, and your consciousness is determined by what you value. And so what you value is what you cherish or what you are afraid of. In other words, he goes on to say at another point that the enemy is in your own household, meaning the most intimate thing that you have within you are your own thoughts. Your own thoughts can be dangerous or they can be healing. And so you are here to have a daily practice of purifying your thoughts so that your state of being is purified, so that your consciousness is purified, so that you're living in a state of safety in consciousness, because you're not prone to fear, doubt, and worry that runs the gamut through the human experience that is sweeping through the world at this particular time. You're to stay out of that. You are to walk in this world among wolves, but to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless as a dove. Harmless to yourself as well by purifying your thoughts on a daily basis. This is the work that you have to do. This is the work, because stuff is trying to steal your attention. Remember that fear is misguided attention. It means your attention is solely on everything that could go wrong in your life or the wrong in anybody's life. You become so interested in it that you are experiencing it even if it doesn't happen. Stockpiling toilet paper. Stop it! What are you full of? Listen. This laughter is a good thing. Because Brother Jesus goes on to say, there's going to be trials and tribulations in the world. It's the way the world is. The world is a Rorschach of consciousness. Every state of consciousness exists on planet Earth because it's a school. From the lowest frequency to the highest avatar. It's all here. There's going to be trials and tribulations in the world. That's what he said. Then he gave you the practice. So simple. Be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. That's a practice. It's hard. I've got a bevy of practitioners here in the sanctuary right now. They've showed up to be the living, vitalizing energy for us to broadcast this message to all the thousands of people who are watching. And they are aware that though they are steeped in the teaching, they've been practicing for years, sometimes it's hard to practice. And so one has to get down on a regular basis until you become so imbued by the presence. Now check this out. You cannot not think certain things. In other words, when the world has taken a nightmare pill and has gone absolutely crazy and nuts, you see, sometimes it's hard not to think certain things. But if you do your work, you become imbued with the presence that makes you impervious from those thought forms, and you live in a field of safety. This is truth. So what does it mean to be metaphysical and to have a level of practice until you become imbued with the presence? We're talking conviction, which means you're not just sitting around at a metaphysical party having abstract conversations about metaphysics. You're actually doing the work, so you're imbued with it. So you're walking in the world, but you're having a certain level of consciousness. You're walking in the world, but your state of being is pristine and beautiful and wonderful and magnificent. And as you looked into each other's eyes a little bit earlier, those who were here in the sanctuary, your eyes become a healing glance, because you're not looking for, nor are you interested in pathology. You're looking for and you're interested in God. You're looking for and you're interested in beauty and joy and harmony and well-being. And you no longer are susceptible to the contagion of fear that sweeps through the human consciousness, which is a virus in and of itself. It is called the virus of the mind. Fear is the virus of the mind. Worry is the virus of the mind. And as you've heard me say from time to time, worry is not a spiritual practice. You're not supposed to have worry beads. You have prayer beads. You see? And so with that awareness, catch this. You know, H1N1 is still out there. Ebola is still out there. It didn't go away. You know, it's still out there. It's still affecting people. SARS is still out there. It's still affecting people. You're not susceptible as much to it because you're not afraid of it, because you're not interested in it. Conscious, you're not interested. You lost your interest. I need you to lose your interest in corona. Be as wise as a serpent. Wash your hands. Wise as a serpent. If you're sick, stay at home. Wise as a serpent. Take your vitamin C. Wise as a serpent, exercise the body so the immune system is enhanced. Wise as a serpent, eat living food. Wise as a serpent, hydrate. Wise as a serpent, but be as harmless as a dove. In other words, your state of being must be pristine. You cannot attack yourself with thoughts that are going to kill you. Matter of fact, people are killing, they're impugning their immune system with their own thoughts about something they don't even have. I was reading an article about people who were getting checked for corona. They had the symptoms. They didn't even have it. It was their thought creating it. Their thought was creating the symptoms because they were interested in that more than they were interested in their health and their connection with God. Not you. Not here. Not now. Not now. Not now.